On this episode of Rebrand Review, we're talking about Hermes and how they've changed their name to Evri, presumably because they leave their parcels anywhere
and everywhere they want.
Roll in. I'm Tony Hardy, co-founder and director of Canny Creative.
I'm Glen Millen, creative director here at Canny.
And today we're talking about Hermes. They changed to the name Evri and then they haven't changed much else.
Yeah, no.
it's a weird one. They've changed their name. Hermes had a real bad reputation for basically volleying their fucking parcels over your back fence in the wet and leaving them there because they could.
Yeah.
This rebrand has been designed by Super Union's UK office. It's okay. It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, the concept itself, when you start looking at it, like, what they've actually done with the logo isn't too bad.
No, it's really interesting. It's something we've tried a million times. Like, matching up fonts to make one cohesive logo. It's cool. And I guess the concept behind this is they're trying to get to, like, all parcels are different sizes, different shapes, different weights, etc., etc. And that's what they're trying to bring through.
And obviously, like, the name change being really... because it's for everyone, like everybody's parcels are different.
Everybody's parcels are being kicked over the back
everyone. And I mean they went for it and they've not even like sort of the normal spelling, they've just put the I on the end, and it's just trying to be cool and hip, if you want to go with that, with not spelling it the correct way. But it is nice. It
is kind of nice. And like what they've actually done is they've made like a font generator online so they can go in and they can create marketing messaging with all this different typography. But it just looks a bit shit. Yeah,
and I mean, what we said before, like we've tried this, and what you find when you try and add loads of different fonts in, is you can only really have certain amount. Like too many, and it just becomes too much for the eye to take.
All the fonts are weird and wonky, right? Which is fine in the different sizes and different scales. But it still just isn't that visually exciting. It's still quite pedestrian.
I don't know whether this just comes down to the way they use it, but they have tried with the larger fonts on different elements and then smaller fonts. Questions being a little bit more personable by saying hey and yo like that. Again, not really. I wouldn't exactly imagine anybody saying that when they come to the door. But like they've tried it, but it just doesn't feel exciting.
One thing I do like though is the electric vehicle. So they've taken the EV from Evri and kind of made like EVRI, the electric vehicle Evri. That's quite cool and it looks nice.
And it's a massive thing at the moment, really. So like they've sort of hit on something that it is with the like sort of years that we're in. Electric vehicles are everything, and companies making a sustainable change is everything.
It is, and that's really important that brands start to do that. But in terms, like rewinding to the logo, one question I had is like, how are they going to build brand recognition with a logo and a typeface and messaging that's just constantly changing?
Yeah.
Like,
and it's going to be all over the place. You can see it in like even small videos like this. Like, unless you put the logo on and it's really big and everybody knows what it's about, it could be anybody's advert.
Yeah.
And it could just be anybody's, and they don't really help themselves because they actually go with the exact same blue and they don't seem to have very much other than that blue.
The colour choice is weird. Like, they've kept the Hermes blue and just slapped a new logo in, but they've got blue, white, and that's it.
Yeah, like, and it's always been a bit of a businessy blue.
It's a boring blue for a not, in theory, a not boring brand.
Yeah. And considering they made this change, it would have been the perfect opportunity. I've got no problem with it. Blue is your brand colour. Stick with it if you need to, and if you want to. But you could have literally injected a bit of life into it.
Yeah, like a supporting colour. Yeah. Something else would have been nice to see. Anyway, let's score this thing. Concept 3. It's decent, but it's not perfect.
Logo 2. As much as it's okay, we're just not keen on it. The different fonts and what they're trying to do with the spelling, it just doesn't work for us.
The visuals are a straight up 2. The shop applications are just a bit, again, pedestrian and a bit boring, but the van's cool, so I'm marking it up 1.
Yeah. Type, we've got as a 1. Honestly, with the multiple different fonts, you'll never understand if it's actually Evri or someone else's advert. It's a bit too much for me, and it's just a bit too much on the eye.
In colour, like, there's nothing really to judge, just a 1. it's blue and white, and that's kind of it. That's a grand total of 1.8. It's not a huge high scoring rebrand this time on Rebrand Review. Remember, like, comment, subscribe below, and we'll see you next time.